Good morning, afternoon, guys. Just gonna wait for some people to show up here. Let's talk about something interesting. Let's talk about something very interesting. At least it's interesting to me. I don't know if it's interesting to you guys. Sometimes I just talk about stuff that I want to talk about. I don't really care about if anybody's interested in it. But usually they are. Baruch Hashem. Here I'm just reading our friend Bo Strasberg. He has a nice page called Bo Knows. We went from asymptomatic carriers to you can test schmazative and not be contagious. And they wonder why people had it up to here with this BS. Yes, my friends. Why they wonder why we've had it up to here with this BS. Hopefully you don't call me a racist for making such an Indian accent. Hopefully you call me a racist for making a Chinese accent. I know how to make accent. What, I make me racist because I know how to do accent. Chinese, Indian. Can't do comedy anymore, sir. Cannot do it. I'm going to get cancelled. You know what I'm saying? Screw you. Come again. So guys, I was talking to a friend today and I showed him a video of a certain doctor talking about certain things that have long-term issues, and this doctor won all kinds of awards in Germany, namely, I'm not going to say his name. And my friend asked me the question, and he sent me a video of another doctor that's on YouTube talking about the same kind of mechanism and telling people that there's, basically no issues with it. And he goes, what makes one guy better than the other? He asked me, what makes one guy better than the other? And then he asked me, 99% of doctors are saying this, and there's always going to be that 1% that say Keneged. And I said, first of all, it's not 1%, it's way more than that. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's way more than that. And a lot of them are, most of them, are afraid to come out in the open because they're afraid to lose their job, right? There's the few that do. They're basically putting their careers and their jobs on the line. They're putting their names on the line, not just their careers. And they actually don't really even have a financial stake in it, contrary to what some people would tell you. Oh, this guy's trying to sell this vitamins. This guy's this guy's that. The guys that are trying to supposedly sell his vitamins actually tells people, you don't have to buy my vitamins. Just go get the ingredients separately, independently. He literally tells this to people: go buy, zinc, quercetin, C and D independently. Don't buy my thing. He tells people this. And yet, whatever. He's doing it for the sales. Okay. Listen, that's what people are going to spin. So, my friends, it's more than that. And the point is that it's not about a question of better, my friends. It's a question of there has to be debate. There has to be a discussion, right? These people say this. These people say that. We are trying to figure this thing out. We're trying to, treat people with in the safest way possible, and we want to give them all the information, even the stuff that's uncomfortable, even the stuff that talks about has v'shalom, undesirable results, even the stuff that has certain effects that we may not like. We have to talk about, my friends. We have to talk about everything, and I explained to my friend what is happening is that they are not. They are hiding, basically, I would say more than half the story as they run around the world and tell people that everyone else is a charlatan. Somebody who's going against them is a charlatan, who's speaking or bringing up just issues and wants to have a discussion and debate is a charlatan. They don't even answer the content of what the person is saying. Like, today I sent my friend the video and I explained to him that, and my friend, I get it. He's like, I don't understand the science of what this guy's talking about. And I said, I get it. Most people don't. But the point is that, who does understand? Other scientists. And they are not having these discussions. And if they are, they're probably having them in private. They're not having them in public, where they should be having them. Okay? And this guy is saying that there's long-term issues. And my friend kind of joking me, so, dude, you're telling me I'm so to speak, whatever. I said, no. It's just that you may not know. It may happen over time. And I said, I'm the kind of person, and this is my problem, guys. I assume people are like me. How do I assume that? I assume that if people find out that they have garbage in their body, that they're going to run around the world looking for ways to detox from that garbage. I'm that kind of person. That's just me. If I take something, I tend, and I thought it was good for me, and then somebody literally sent me something showing me that it may not only it's not good, showing me that that the person saying it's not good is basically being deplatformed and silenced by every entity on planet Earth, I would say, that song, Things That Make You Go, CNC Music Factory, you know what I'm saying? I would scour the globe. I would go to like some other country. Guys, I was prescribed a certain antibiotic for something, an issue that I had. I'm not going to say, whatever, small issue, 12 years ago. And I started having like just weird side effects with my immune system, whatever it was. This is like 2009, 2010. And then I started researching this online. I should have done this before I took it, when this doctor gave it to me. I found out that this stuff had like serious problems. A lot of people reported a lot of serious different kinds of issues, muscle issues, whatever it is, from this antibiotic. And I started like messaging. There was some doctor in like Netherlands who like was the preeminent doctor to address the issues related to this antibiotic. I started messaging him. I started, guys, like I did everything short of getting on a plane and like, because it wasn't something that was like life threatening, God Hashem, but it was something a nuisance. It was annoying, right? So I was trying to figure out how to detox from this, and this saga lasted for about 10 years until I finally, got some sort of solution. Somebody sent me a solution for this, and Baruch Hashem, it's working. But guys, like that's just me. I'm that kind of person. I would scour the globe for any kind of detox. But most people, my friends, you understand that most people have been whipped up into this what's called mass formation, what Dr. Desmet talked about, and what I spoke about before. They've been convinced that there's a thing out there that's giving them anxiety, and the people that are coming to solve this anxiety have convinced them that they are the only ones with the solution to that anxiety, my friends. We're the only ones. We don't have, guys, I'm telling you, I liken it to certain groups, even in my group of people in the religious Judaism. You come to them and you say, we have the answer. All those guys are clowns with their books of whatever, written by whomever. Yeah. We're the ones. You know why those guys are like that? Because they don't learn what we learn, and vice versa. Those guys with their crazy books of and they believe in that rabbi. You know why they're like that? Because they read that stuff over there. They read that stuff like that. That's why they're like that. Cancel them. I don't want to hear about those guys. Those guys are. I won't even invite them to my Shabbos meal. They're not even allowed to daven with us because they believe what they believe. They can't even be in a minyan. I won't even eat their hechsher. I won't even eat their anything that's kosher certified by their companies. Guys, we see this in the religious world all the time, and now we see it in science. That guy's a charlatan because he's selling this, and he didn't prove one thing, and and there was a Lancet study, even though the Lancet study was BS, and it was retracted. But that guy's still a charlatan. The damage is done, guys. Right? He's a charlatan. We recognize him as the media recognize him as a charlatan. They said he's a charlatan, and therefore he's a charlatan. We don't know the full story. We don't have the story from the horse's mouth. We don't even know what he's doing in real time. We don't know stories from his patients who he helped. An 89-year-old woman who was on her deathbed and who then ended up, being the master of ceremonies at her own 90th birthday. We don't know those stories, my friends. That's what it is. That's what it is. And guys, honestly, it's all about media, and it's all about PR, and it's all about optics. When you show me the guys who are allowed to be, who have passed through the church of YouTube, who are allowed to be on YouTube, they're dressed very nice. They talk very nice. They are trained for the media. They're trained for PR. Some of them are doctors, right? They are doctors, but they're trained, guys. The CEO of Schmeiser, he is a veterinarian by profession. He's not even a doctor. He's a veterinarian. That may explain why he's treating everybody like an animal. That's a different story, guys. That's a different story. Well, not a different story. That's the story. he's treating us like animals. But you saw, he goes on Lex Friedman, and he talks nice, and he answers questions, and he's very, he carefully chooses his words, he carefully obfuscates, he carefully deflects, he carefully changes the subject, he carefully, he talks in code. You know, guys, Mr. Mousy, Dr. Mousy does the same thing. He goes, and he's been doing this for 40 years, guys. He's a PR agent at this point. He's not. I mean, he happens to have doctor in front of his name. He's a PR agent. He's been doing this for 40 years. He's been talking, basically lying to the camera, lying to people for 40 years, my friends. Or what he's been doing, he's been saying certain things, and he moves the goalposts and moves the goalposts, and then he says, "I never said that." He gaslights, you know. Just like now, he runs around and saying, "Yeah, Rand Paul is talking about something that was done. It was a thing that we did with Shmeina and this, but it wasn't. You know, he misconstrued it as we did and we created the thing." See now, guys, he's backtracking. He's changing his tune. He's doing stunt. What is it called? PR control, damage control. Well, it is a PR stunt. He's doing damage control. He knows that something is coming, something legal is coming his way, something basically tribunals are coming his way, and he knows he's going to have to answer for himself. So he can always go back to the record, of himself on video. Guys, this is all a very, very carefully crafted PR routine on the part of a lot of people, guys. A lot of trained, professional, polished, nicely dressed, nicely sounding like this. Everything is okay, as you were. Focus on your job, focus on your shidduchim, focus on this, focus on that, guys. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Guys, conversely, the people like Dr. Shmelenko and other doctors, right, who are talking, they talk very, very straight, right? And they'll give a 30-minute or an hour interview. They forget, because they're not PR trained and they're not media savvy and they're not politically savvy, as they fully admit themselves. My friend Ephraim says, my brother is not a media person, he's not media trained, he's not PR trained, he's a Hasid from Kiev / upstate New York, / Florida, and he's just a straight shooter, Russian Jew, former Soviet refusnik guy, or whatever, former Soviet dissident guy. Baal Tshuva, a person who became religious later in life. Guys, and he's not trained like Mr. Shmurla and Mr. Mousy and this nice, doctor who was wearing a very, very nice suit that made him look like he came out of Bugsy Siegel's, and Al Capone's crew. Guys, he's not like that. He just says it as it is. And he doesn't realize that somebody can come along, like yesterday that happened, with these wonderful Erev Rav so-called rabbis and their cohorts can come along and cut out 47 seconds out of a 30-minute talk, or our talk as well, and make him look awful, out of context. And then just run him through the mud all day, literally for 24 hours. They can do that. Not 24 hours, they did it already for months. But they've been doing it the last 24 hours quite nicely. Guys? They don't realize that. The guys who are going again, they don't realize that. They know science. They know science, they are doctors, they are professionals at what they do, but they are not PR people, they are not media people. This one doctor in Germany, he's actually quite good at speaking, he's quite good at he's a very emotional guy himself, and he's talking about what he's talking about, and it makes him emotional to even think about it. At the end of the video, he even said, I don't even want to know the ramifications of this myself. All I want to know is that people stopped doing this, meaning people stopped taking this stuff and just, so to speak, save themselves. My friends are saying, I respect Dr. Z for honesty and not being stage savvy. Yeah, very sad how people try to devour one another, just evil. Yeah, and guys, it's the worst are these Jews. And here's my friend actually just writing to me, the one who in Germany, who's been telling me about this whole saga. There you go. The people might also be interested in watching an interview with Professor Bhakti. It is directly on the website of the journalist, as it was deleted from ShmooTube. The link is right before the translation I sent. Yeah, she sent me a translation of this talk that this doctor made, where afterwards everybody in Germany accused him of anti-Semitism. He said that what's happening in Israel today is basically, it's basically like awful. So what did? They took a sentence out of what he said. They took a sentence out of what he said, and they basically framed him. They, in a little box, framed him as an anti-Semite so that no one will speak to him or talk to him ever again, guys. No one will speak to him again. They turned this guy into, he's won all kinds of, can I read to you guys what this guy, Dr., I can't even say his name, Shmu Sharit Shmachdi, I'll pronounce it this way. This guy, what did he, microbiologist. Yeah, that's the first thing they wanted to write on Wikipedia. But look at all the things that he's accomplished. Look at all the things that he's accomplished. 1979, Justus Liebig University Gaysen Prize. 1980, Constance Medicine Prize. He's 75 years old. Okay, so he's achieved most of these things when he was, he's born in 1946. So like late 30s, early 40s, he achieved most of this stuff. That's when the heyday. Constance Medicine Prize, German Society for Microbiology Prize, Dr. Friedrich Sasse Prize, Ludwig Schunk Prize for Medicine. This is all like 80s, in the 80s. 1989, Robert Koch Ford Prize of Klostel Zellerfeld. I don't know what this is. The Guy Lussac Humboldt Prize, 1991. 2001, the Aronson, guys, listen to this. Aronson Prize for pioneering work in the field of the complement system and bacterial toxins. Aronson Prize, guys, what is it? Is a prize awarded for achievements in microbiology and immunology. It was established by the will of the pediatrician and bacteriologist Hans Aronson. Has been awarded since 1921. Aronson bequeathed a large part of his estate to the establishment of the prize. The prize was awarded biannually on March 8th, the date of Aronson's death. In 1969, the foundation that was awarded the prize was dissolved on the initiative of its last chairman, George Henneberg, and the responsibility for the prize and the remaining capital was transferred to West Berlin government, also back then, in order to safeguard the existence of the prize. Since 1970, the prize has been awarded to by the Senate of Berlin. The first laureate was August von Wassermann. Among our Aronson laureates are several scientists who later were awarded Nobel in physiology or medicine. So, my friends, this guy won the prize that was also won by, he didn't win the Nobel, but people who won a Nobel, went on to win a Nobel, also won this prize. And he won this prize in 2001. My friends, and here's another thing. 2005, H.W. House Award. I don't know what this is. These are all kinds of awards in Germany. Another thing, 2005, Rudolf Schonheimer Medal of German Society of Atherosclerosis Research. 2009, my friends, and this is the person who they turned into anti-Semite. Okay, they turned him into anti-Shemite, and that's it. Nobody will listen to him. And he comes out and he says, "So, my friends, it's scary times in that respect. It's not science anymore. There's no. I told my friend, it's not about who's better." He goes, "Which one of these guys is better? Which one of these guys is saying emes?" And I said, or saying good. I said, "It's not about that. It's never about that. It's about discussion and debate and coming to some sort of, it's not even consensus, to coming to an understanding of the pros and the cons of what we are doing as a society. And for these people, it's not about that. For these people, it's about shutting down anybody who disagrees with you. And using, these companies, they claim that they're private companies, and they even said, like, well, you don't like what we're doing, go and start your own companies. Okay, they went and started them. Guess what? The people that were running the servers shut them down. They tried to start, but the point is, guys, it's not, once you're, let's say, a company like Schmitter or Schmutube, right, and you ban a video, and then, can I read to you guys, here, can I read to you guys what, one of my videos on that platform was banned, right, or was removed, and I got time out for 7 days, whatever it is, right? Let's read what they wrote, the legal language of what they wrote, and let's understand what this means. Guys, I'm not a lawyer, but I'll tell you exactly what this means. Exactly what this means. Here. It's called Shmedical Shmish Information, right? And it says, Shmutube doesn't allow content that spreads Shmedical Shmish information that contradicts local health authorities, whoever the heck that is, right? In my case, it's the American government, or the World Health Organization. Medical information about COVID-19. This is limited to content that contradicts them or local health authorities. My friends, this language, basically, when a platform writes this kind of language, right, they have rendered themselves as an agent of these governmental institutions. They are no longer a private company in the capacity that they're coming at me with. They are an agent of the government. You know what that means? It means that if they are an agent of the government, that means that the government is engaging in censorship, not a private company. As much as it's behind the veil of a private company. So now what's needed is very, very good lawyers to go and dissect all of this and parse all of this out and go do lawsuits and show that this is actually the case, guys. Again, guys, I'm not a lawyer, but this is something very simple to figure out. See, it says, Shmutuv's policy is subject to change in response to changes to global or guidance. It says guidance. It's not even law. It's guidance, my friends. So this is a private company that's choosing to act as an agent, has rendered themselves an agent. See, look, it even says, content that encourages the use of home stuff, prayer or rituals in place of medical treatment such as consulting a doctor. My friends, don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following. It even says this. Content that claims that there's a guaranteed cure. Content that recommends use of IVM or HCQ, which has been used. Claims that HCQ is effective. Claims that IVM is effective. Claims that IVM and HCQ are safe, which they are. Guys, holy crap. I feel like I'm taking crazy. Speaking of which, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Content that discourages people from consulting a medical professional. My friends, people have gotten both of these medicines for medical professionals. A lot of them. In hospitals, outside of hospitals. Unbelievable. They specifically look at this. This is a whole thing. I didn't even read this part. Holy shnikes. My friends, these guys have rendered themselves, they've basically rendered themselves, oh my goodness. Not anything that's not allowed on YouTube. Claims that is they've outlined you. They're literally telling you what you can't post. Claims that this is caused by radiation from 5G Shmi. Oh my God. The mask caused lung, all this whole list, this of stuff you can't say. Some of this is actually verifiable scientific information. Guys, this is just, I don't even know. This is some scary stuff, guys. This is some scary stuff. This is like, I don't even think the Ministry of Truth in 1984 would go to such lengths. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. And so basically, guys, it's all about optics, though. It's all about optics. It's all about how somebody looks, how somebody sounds, how somebody, reputable. It's not about the content anymore. This is endemic to everything, guys. Not just this issue that I'm talking about. It's endemic to everything. No more content. There is no more content. People focusing on the content. It's all about delivery and optics and how somebody's dressed and how somebody talks and how somebody sounds. Even if their background is shady, but we find somebody even shadier, or that will construe as shady. Guys, you understand that whatever these people are accusing any of the, Dr. Shmelenko, whoever else of, they are actually guilty of themselves. You understand? They're accusing somebody without even any proof, without even showing how, of somebody of having blood on their hands. My friends, in reality, they're the ones with blood on their hands. We know they have blood on their hands. At least 20,000, if not more. They say, well, that's a minimum. They have 20,000 people. The person they're accusing of having blood, he has 0 people. Not 20,000, 0 that he's harmed, and a bunch that he's helped, and a bunch more by extension, millions by extension. My friends, this is just, it's crazy, guys. I didn't even read that part. I just read the part about when they tell me I can't. They're coming in the name of these agencies, which they're in and of itself is already a problem. They're rendering themselves a government agency. They're not guys. You understand? They're not private companies anymore. That's it. They just have a name. They're basically might as well be like China, where it's like, corporations that are owned by the government. That's it. They've essentially been China-fied, not by China, but by the current government, or maybe even by China as well. Guys, that's what we're dealing with. So now you're telling me, well, what makes this doctor this and that doctor? Guys, that one is allowed on ShmooTube, the other one is not. The one that's not allowed is saying that there are problems with whatever is being administered to people, and not just administered, but coerced and forced and bullied. I don't know, guys. I really just don't know at this point. But, yeah. That's what we're dealing with, guys. That's essentially what we're dealing with. And really, unfortunately, it's all about optics. And frankly, that's what the Sitra Achra and the Erev Rav are all about. It's all about how things look. It's all about how things sound and how things look. It's never about the emes or the truth, about getting down and dirty to the nitty gritty, into the gunk, and finding out what the truth actually is. I'm not saying I have a monopoly on truth. I don't. The point is, we have to listen to everybody. We can't just listen to one side of the story. We have to listen to everybody, guys. And then after we listen to all the information, just like we make any decision in life, with anything, when we buy something, when we go here, when we go there, we weigh the pros and the cons. But people here are not allowed to weigh the pros and the cons. They're just saying, this is amazing tech, and take it, and go, and we don't know. I have friends who joke, I mentioned this to you guys. I have friends who, like, they took it and they're like, you see, I grew a third tail. I grew a tail, a third eye. And I'm just like, you schmuck. It ain't about that. It ain't about that. There's something called, what I call the Chernobyl effect, where something happens and then, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, you don't know. And then the next thing you know, has v'shalom. Has v'shalom, guys. Just like what that doctor said, I don't even want to know the result. I don't even want to know the ramifications of this. I just want people to save themselves. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, this is already getting exhausting for me. Yeah, third tail. Third eye, third tail, second leg, whatever, fourth leg, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, guys, alright. I'm just going to end, and I'm talking to myself right now when I'm going to say the following. This is a quote from Rav Kook, and I always say, if Rav Kook was alive today, I don't even know what he would say about the people that are his, followers and all that kind of stuff. Here you go. Rav Kook. He said the following. I'll tell you exactly the quote. I want to read you exactly the quote. The pure righteous do not complain of the dark, but increase the light. They do not complain of evil, but increase justice. They do not complain of heresy, but increase faith. They do not complain of ignorance, but increase wisdom. Guys, I'm talking to myself right now. Because I did this yesterday. I spoke to those people, those, so to speak, rabbis, Erev Rav rabbis on Twitter. And I was trying to fight the darkness or complain about darkness. I was trying to complain about evil and their heresy. I was telling my friends about all their heresy. I was talking to them about their ignorance. But instead of that, I should just, in my own quadrant, in my own little corner, go and increase the light, increase the justice, increase the emunah, and increase the knowledge and the wisdom. That's basically it, guys. I gotta take this guy's. This is Rav Kook, my friend, who said this. Rav Avraham Yitzhak Cohen Kook, the chief rabbi of what was Israel before it became a state, and he was one of the biggest mikubalim. This is the person on whom Israel basically, before Shmovid, what you see Israel as today, in terms of, let's say, everything being integrated in terms of religion and just the very idea of the state, was essentially his ideology. But I'm pretty sure even he would know, and he agreed probably with the Haredi rabbis who came against him, that there are pitfalls and there are problems, like we see today. That's another discussion, guys. I'm going to get into it. And we see it today, when the state is paramount over Hashem. And that's not what Rav Kook, meant or spoke about. He saw just the state as a vehicle that Hashem gave us onto something greater. It's transitory, whatever you want to call it. But never would Rav Kook ever say that the state is paramount to Hashem or the Torah or a shul or anybody, or any holy entity, so to speak. So you ask me why would they have to Rav Kook? Because he gave credence to the the secular Zionists at the time of the founding of the state, and the Haredi rabbis were very much against them because they saw the issues and the pitfalls, and they went against him very much. But yeah, guys, just increase all those good things and don't complain about the bad, and don't try to fight the bad, because you know these people are vicious, guys. I saw this yesterday. They are vicious, rotten to the core, rotten, rotten, rotten. Nothing else to say. Mean-spirited, horrible people, and they lie, or they think whatever they're saying is the truth, and they think that if they run somebody through the garbage, through the mud, and through the literally feces, that it's going to make everything better. It's going to actually, they think that they're saving lives, that they're not. They're actually killing people, or they're withholding life-saving information from people. They're getting people to stray away from life-saving things. Anyway, guys, all right, it's been real, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.